Welcome to the Self-Heal with Liz podcast. Here is where the door is wide open to the infinite potential of possibilities. Get ready to thrive while we follow what feels charming on the playful path of intentional living. In this episode, I share with my client Michael Weber of Creative Investment Strategies and a proud member of Freemasons. He found me on Instagram, and as they say, the teacher arrives when the student is ready. Our first session was October 9th, 2023. Listen along as we share vulnerably 7 weeks later during our 5th session. I teach Michael how to create a bhavana. A bhavana is what divine alignment feels like, and offer our own examples of how it can manifest in the current time-space reality. Okay, I'm going to call it Self-Heal with Liz podcast.
Nice.
Right? I've had some other recordings, but they're kind of just like, I'm basically just talking about my own thoughts. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to be able to talk to someone else with, especially where you're at and how much you have gained, and shifted your perspective. So say your name if you want, just Michael is fine.
Yeah.
And how you met me, what what was it?
So my name is Michael Weber, and it was kind of funny how I met you because I went to a place I never go. It was the right way in the back there that
you were up in the spring.
I forgot what it's called. It's like the lake.
Bluff Lake.
Bluff Lake, yeah. We never go there, and it was just an out-of-the-blue thing. I figured, we're bored, let's get out. Okay. And we're going through the motions again, never been there. And we passed your bus, and I saw that it's, it said healing.
Yeah.
And all these cool little, joy and love and all this stuff. Uh-huh. And I noticed it for a brief second, but I didn't put much attention to it, because no one really in my family's into that kind of thing. I think it's BS, stupid, whatever.
Gotcha.
But I thought, that's pretty cool. And then when we were coming back, about an hour later, everyone was outside your bus, and you guys were all just kind of hanging out. And we were going by, and I was taking a picture of the back of the bus, because I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah, nice.
And then you started kind of yelling over, hey, stop by, come have a massage or whatever.
Oh, you saw me.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, probably not today. And everyone, my kids are like, that's weird, right in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And then, we just continued going. And then I couldn't find the picture. So I'm going through my pictures. I take screenshots, pictures all the time on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm going through them. I'm like, what the hell happened to them? And I must have because I purged my phone too. Yeah. And I must have pressed it because it was gone. It wasn't in my photos.
Whoa.
So I'm like, damn it. Well, maybe I'll see it. I remember Liz. That's all I could remember. Then I tried looking on Instagram because that's my main platform. Okay. Yeah. Couldn't find you. And then I'm driving back on the North Shore side here, and you were in front of me. And so while I'm behind you, I'm looking you up on Instagram, and I messaged you while I was behind you.
Nice.
And then you continued forward, going towards Fawnskin, and I turned left to Big Bear Lake.
Wow! Oh my God, that's the best.
So it's almost like, okay, you lost. The universe was like, you lost a picture, you numbnut. Here she is again.
Oh,
that's kind of how I felt.
It was like, don't miss it this time.
Yeah, don't miss it this time.
Whoa.
But you were literally right in front of me. Yeah, and then you really start deep diving into. So I start deep diving into that day. I left a little earlier than I usually do because I was kind of ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I don't go that way to go back into Big Bear Lake. I usually go through the city.
Okay.
Because I'll sometimes stop at the little yellow restaurant and say hi to some friends.
Oh, nice.
Or I'll stop. There's a building that my client owns, so I'll stop there. But this time I didn't. I went around.
Okay.
So you put all of that into perspective. Yeah. That's not just me bumping into you.
Huh, okay, gotcha.
In my opinion.
Yeah, totally. Okay, wow, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment. I want to just take a moment to, honor, that connection, that opportunity, mm-hmm. and it's, that divine timing, mm-hmm. right? Divine alignment, right? You've been calling me in, and then I show up twice. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I've been calling you in as well. someone who sees what I'm up to and they're like, oh, that works.
Right, yeah.
Right? And you've been practicing some of the tools, so snaps to that.
Yes.
So, okay, let's review this real quick. So, the following what feels charming is cherish the present moment, happiness focused, abundance frequency, responsibility of self, magic in all things, intuitively guided, non-attachment, and gratitude attitude. So out of those, like, how has this supported you?
So I go by it daily, so I'll pick one per day and just keep going through it. So it being Tuesday today, I usually fall on happiness focused. So I try to be, and Tuesday is a different day from the rest of the week too, because Tuesday is my lodge day. So that's how I've established, that's why I'm a little more relaxed today than I usually am, because I try for the most part, nothing really happens as far as meetings today.
Okay.
Work is still there, but not meetings, not anything major, because that's where I'm focused on masonry. And when we first started, I told you that was what brings me the most peace and happiness is masonry. And what we dive into the studies and the teachings of the Bible and parallel it to what does that mean in masonry.
Okay.
The building of King Solomon's temple, King Solomon, all that.
Yeah.
So that brings me the peace. So Tuesdays is when I focus on that, because that's where my happiness was. Now I seem to find moments where pretty much every day I try to stay in that happiness focus.
Every day? Okay.
I try to.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every day.
Right.
But, I mean, even if the happiness isn't there, the gratitude is still there.
Awesome.
But yeah, I try to, masonry, happiness when I get up. Again, every day I have those moments of gratitude when I'm doing either my sauna or my cold plunge or spa or something. Okay. There's moments of gratitude, thanking, the higher power, my higher power on where I'm at currently in my life and
Love
stuff like
that. Is there any other ones that you're really good at?
I'm getting better at being present.
Okay.
I feel like I'm kind of getting that down now.
Nice.
But I've always had the attitude of gratitude, even going through my life. It's not just being thankful for stuff, but it's taking care of the stuff that is coming into your life. And so I'm very good at that, because if you look at my life, you can tell that I try to take care of everything in my life to have it orderly.
You mean even things you don't have control of?
Even things I don't have control of, I try to take some kind of gratitude in, even though I'm not in control of it, I'm in control of me with it.
And how you respond to it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, but anything that comes into my life, people, things, material things, I try to take as much and proper care of it as I can, because I think that shows gratitude too.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of just saying, thank you so much,
Like you're really appreciating it for how it's showing up in your life.
Fully, yeah.
Love that so much. Yeah. So good.
I think I'm the best at that portion of it, yes.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, the next thing I'm going to have you do is journal a little bit. So, do you have a journal?
No, not.
I know you don't like writing,
yeah.
but this is just a short exercise, okay?
Yeah.
So, here is a paper, and you can take this paper home. Here's a pen. And I wanted to just check in with you about your homework. How is your homework about, your mirror work?
My mirror work? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, every time I start that, so I've only done a few sessions of that. It's still very
uncomfortable?
For me, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny because every time I start laughing, because I remember we started laughing up there.
Yeah.
When you're just say hi to yourself. And I say, hello, sir. So then I start laughing when I first started. But yeah, no, I've done a few sessions, maybe 3 or 4 total since we've last met.
Since 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, so it's still not something that I haven't fully embraced yet.
Okay.
So there's a blockage there.
There's some room for improvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Like, you're willing to get uncomfortable.
Right.
to explore it and stay curious.
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
Awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so bhavana. Bhavanas are...
How do you spell that?
Oh, it's a... Here, actually... I wrote it over here.
Okay.
Oh, no, I didn't write it right here. Okay, it's Bhavana. Bhavana.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Havana, but Bhavana. Okay.
Bhavana, right? Like, whatever, right?
Bhavana.
So, a bhavana. Okay, so we're gonna basically create a dream board in written form. Okay? Have you ever made a dream board before?
Like a vision board.
A
Visually.
vision board.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for this, we're going to write in past tense as if what we want to bring into our lives has already happened. Okay? So, let's do 3 months from now. So 3 months from now is going to be, what's today?
So
The
on
28th? No, 3 months from now.
Oh, forward.
Forward,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Right? So December, January, February 28th. Nice, that's a great one. So write February 28th, 2024. Nice. Okay, so it's like you are writing to yourself there. So in bhavana, when we practice doing a bhavana, time and space is irrelevant. The time-space reality like blows. Okay? And that's why it's nice to do a meditation and do a chant and get present in your body, right? And, recognize like, okay, I'm getting to our observer mode. Let's let the kitty in. Come on, Latigra. She's all no. We'll leave it open. So, sorry if it's chilly.
Oh, no, you're good.
She's like, who is that? So, okay, so take a moment to get back into that place, right?
Okay.
So, ground your feet, connect to the earth. Remember that picture upstairs in the studio?
Mm-hmm.
It's the tree and it's connected at the roots and then expanded at the branches. Right? So become the tree, that observer mode of like rooting down with your feet and sitting up nice and tall with your spine. And take a nice deep breath. We're going to sigh it out. Good. And then let's do a chant of Om one more time. So deep breath in. Good. And so just take it that moment of being present in your own body. And again, find a little bit of movement and just be like, oh, am I holding any tension? So as we inhale, we're inhaling from the roots to the branches, up to the crown of our head, up our spine. Exhale from the branches back down to the roots. And again, inhale. And exhale. And give yourself permission to go to a place that anything is possible. That zoomed out version of your life where you're like, oh, there's an infinite potential of possibilities. Which one do I want to explore? Which one feels most charming for me right now in my life? And then surrender it, because out of all the infinite potential of possibilities, there might be an even better, right? And so if we're attached to that one, like, preference, then, we're going to be disappointed if that doesn't happen. So we say, this is my preference. All of this or something even better, because there might be an even better that I cannot even yet comprehend. And then so just repeat after me. So all of this.
All of this.
Or something even better.
Or something even better.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Aha. And snaps. Okay, so I'm going to read you mine first. So you have an idea. Okay? Let's see. Okay, so I want to just share this one that I recently found when I was like cleaning stuff out. So I wrote the date that I actually wrote it on the back. So if you want to do that on the very back, like down here somewhere, like very small writing. Today's actual date, yep. Because it's kind of fun to find this and you're like, oh, I manifested that. Cool. Okay, so I wrote this December 26th, 2021.
Wow.
Okay, but I wrote June 30th, 2022. So that would have been 6 months from when I actually wrote it. Okay, now this has to do with relationships. Okay, but Bobbin has, like, if you want to do one for a relationship today, that's great. But you can do one for your business or, you know, where you live or, you know, what kind of creativity you want to get into. So this is just, I'm going to read a few sentences so you have an idea. So, I am dating such a divine masculine man who is also following his passion, helping others through his own life experiences. He is older than I and emotionally mature, always willing to grow. Recognizing our challenges and disagreements helps us become better versions of ourselves. We communicate our needs, preferences, and desires authentically. I feel safe, seen, heard, and felt by him. Our sex is so dynamically fulfilling and respectful. He understands my areas of inner healing work and compassionately tells me no when I need it. Because I know that's like, you know, as growing up as a single, with a single mother, like, I was the baby and, like, I always got what I want. And I'd throw a tantrum if I didn't get it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, as an adult, you know, I'll throw, like, a little adult tantrum if I don't get my way, right? Which is where I've been practicing non-attachment, right? And now I'm feeling more at peace in my life because I'm, like, recognizing, oh, you know, like, that is an area I have room for improvement in. So now I catch myself and I say, I recognize when I'm feeling resistance because I'm not getting my way, and I'm like, I go in and question, and I'd be like, wait, why are you resistant right now? You know, like, and question that within myself and stay curious, and maybe the answer doesn't come right away. Maybe I need to journal or just take some space. But then, you know, I feel just more at peace because I'm like, I'm not like pushing that back down and just being like, and holding a grudge, you know what I mean? Mm. That's like the drama, like the, oh, poor me. Like, I didn't get my way again.
Yeah. And you kind of take ownership of that as well.
Yeah. And so I kind of make it fun and, like, laugh at myself a little bit to not take it so seriously and kind of play with it. So, and it's like me interacting with my inner child, little Lizzie. Right? Little Lizzie's throwing a tantrum today, you know? So what was your inner child?
Mikey,
yeah. Nice. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So, okay, so that is like an idea, right? And then, so here's one that we just wrote together. Okay, so we just wrote this the other day, a couple days ago, but we put February 25th, 2024. And then this is the part that is about our relationship. So, our relationship has deepened our love for each other and offered abundance of opportunities for growth and inner healing. And then I just said, me, Liz, has perfected my ability to use a chainsaw and continue to create epic pieces of wood art as often as I get the chance. Our flow together carving creates a brilliant frequency of living in the flow. Our presence together positively impacts everyone who interacts with us. All of this, thank you, more please, even better, and so it is.
Very nice.
Okay, so there's a couple examples. So
question on this one.
Yeah.
When did you guys actually meet?
Oh yeah, so this was June 30th, 2022. We met April 2023.
Okay.
Okay, so less than a year.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why it's like, say you write February 20th, 2024. Say it happens, December 2024.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, like when it shows up, you're just like, cool. Oh yeah, I've been calling you in.
Yeah. I had it wasn't called this. It was just like part of the secret.
Okay.
When Bob Proctor says, just write it down and just actually physically write it down. I never did that. I hate doing that.
Yeah.
But I did because I was desperate, and we were living. This was in 2015, and we were just living in this condo. We were unhappy, hated it, hated our job, hate everything.
Yeah.
So on the paper, and we were working at Vaughn's. We hated it. But I knew there was more potential there for me. And so I wrote out, I am so thankful that we now live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, got specific, home in an area that we love. Love the fact, and I got specific, like the dogs have a fenced-in backyard. I absolutely love where we live. And I kept going. I said, I love being in the financial industry, having great benefits and great, and I really, so a year and a half later, I get a job at the bank. We moved to Big Bear. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, fully fenced in yard, and I forgot all about that until I found it going through all my yearbooks and stuff and moving, because we were moving all of our stuff to storage, and I found it and I just bawled.
Oh, I bet.
Bawled like a baby bawled. And so now this is probably the universe saying you need, because 2 nights ago I'm sitting in the spa thinking, I feel stuck in the sense that, like, where's my life going? Like, I'm just going to do the same thing every day. Like, I don't actually have a goal. I'm just kind of floating.
Gotcha.
So, like, what is my goal? Like, I need to get back to that because I'm just kind of feeling, I'm doing things. But I just kind of feel like I'm just there. Like, this is great. Like, I'm going with the waves. It's good.
Going with the flow, okay.
But where am I actually paddling to? I'm not going anywhere.
I got chills when you said that. Where am I paddling?
And so this is great because this is something that I'm probably spiritually needing right now, is getting back into this.
Love that so much.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so do you have an idea of where you're paddling to?
I have a sense of where I want to paddle to. Yes. But not like a...
You're going with the flow, but the question is, so you're feeling at peace in your life?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Feeling at peace in life. And the question is, where am I paddling? I liked that.
But even with peace in your life, I almost feel like going back to that, like I'm just kind of there paddle, or where do I paddle next, is kind of floating there. But I'm also, you do sense like the change, like it's almost like you're seeing a mild storm coming. So it's like, where do you paddle? That's kind of like where I'm at. Like, where do I, I'm not freaking out about it. I'm at peace about it.
You mean when I taught you about like observing the obstacles coming at you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you see them.
Yeah.
And so,
but what's on the other side of them?
Exactly. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, do I go through that? There's other options, but it's like, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, you tell me to write as if this is February 28th. I have an idea as far as goals, but I don't really know. Like, for a fact, this is what I want.
Okay. And
I'm just kind of there.
You don't have to then. So, can you give me an example of something, like a goal you have?
So, like, I would probably write, it being today, February 28th, 2024, I'm so grateful that I've come so far in my income stream with this particular business, with X business. Yeah. They were struggling, they're almost out of business, and we were able to turn that around, and I'm super happy and grateful for them, and also grateful for the fact that I can still stay on.
Yeah, okay.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, totally. Is that something that's up in the air on November 28th, 2023?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's great. Write that down.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes, and I'm going to write down as well. I'm going to do one for myself.
Okay.
And we'll do like 3 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Nice. How was that?
It was nice to write that.
It was nice?
Yeah.
Yay, snaps.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Perfect. So this gives you like the reminder that you said you needed, right?
Yeah.
It's like once you start doing it, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this, I might continue this.
Totally.
Yeah, this was good.
And it's nice to write it down like with your hand and a pen.
Yeah.
Versus typing because.
Well, you feel it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like you're literally casting a spell.
Right. Well, yeah, in a way, yeah. Because you're feeling the emotions of getting to that place or whatever it is.
Yeah, and like recognizing that out of all the infinite potential possibilities, this is one of them.
Right.
right? And now the beautiful thing about manifestation and the uncomfortable part too is that you have to surrender it. You have to surrender needing this to happen in order for you to be happy now. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, how can you find that feeling that you just felt when you were writing this? How can you sustainably feel that more often now?
And do you think you can feel, because that's what I struggle with, obviously. Everyone probably struggles with that.
Room for improvement.
Yeah. But do you focus on just letting it go, knowing that the universe does have it, and now you act as if either the universe is going to take care of it, or do you act as if this has already happened? That's where I get messed up.
Okay, no worries. So it's like when I wrote this, it was like, I was like stoked that like, whoa, this is a possibility. Yeah. Like, this is one of the possibilities. Like, all right, cool. And then I'm like, okay, but you know, whether or not I read this every day to remind me, you know, I know that I can still feel that like excitement about something in my life. Right? And maybe it doesn't happen exactly like this that I wrote it, right? Maybe he was younger than me, right? Or, you know, what else is like, you know, maybe he struggles with telling me no.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, okay, at least I can give him a heads up and be like, hey, can you tell me no more often, you know, because I notice, you know, you don't, like, you let me get my way a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually noticed that in my past relationship because I was like, it made me feel like I was catching myself. And I was like, I'm too comfortable. This guy puts me in my comfort zone too much. Yeah. And I was like, I need that, like I kind of crave vulnerability, right? My ability to be vulnerable and to get out of my comfort zone, right? Like, so that's why I test myself so much in a playful way because it's fun for me, right? Like, for example, snowboarding, right? That's vulnerable. There's other people. You gotta like pay attention, you know, to your own body movements. So I really love that. But then also in the sense of cold baths, right? I love the example of cold baths because you were consciously saying, like, I'm going to go hang out in that cold water and not make it a bad thing.
Yeah. And then it hits you and you're like, oh my God.
So when I'm sitting in the cold water, I'm just observing it. I'm saying, oh, look at how I got little goosebumps everywhere. And I'm like, I'll notice, you know, like, oh, I can feel my extremities, like my fingers and toes getting numb, you know, and I can notice, I literally can pay attention to how my body tenses up, right? And I'm like, okay, my body currently is in fight or flight. It's in that sympathetic mode of protect, defend, survival, right? Like, I'm literally putting my own body in that position, and the mind too, right? So now I get to play with the mind and recognize that, like, oh, this is how my body gets when I'm stressed, okay? And it's like healthy stress. And so then it's like, then I step out of the cold bath and I notice I don't necessarily jump for a towel or jump for, you know, warm temperature, right? I sit in that, like, and I watch how my body adapts back into my parasympathetic, my rest and digest mode, and recognize, like, my body feels safe again. That's what I love about cold baths.
Yeah.
And I encourage, like, people to at least explore it with a 30-second cold shower, you know, after you've taken your hot shower.
Yeah.
And then just warm up again after. But like, if we can and you practice them. So how do you describe your experience of cold baths?
For me, I've noticed how it's a reminder of how comfortable you can be in any moment of life, whether it's good or bad. So in a cold bath, you get used to it. And it's kind of like what I tell clients is, I think a lot of you like the chaos because you're comfortable with it. Maybe you grew up with chaos, and so that's why it's so chaotic, and you feel like you have to insert yourself because you are right now in a cold bath, and even though everyone on the outside is like, I don't know how you do that, to you is normal. And so that's how I experience it. Now, listening to your perspective on it, it's interesting. You are looking at how your body reacts to certain conditions.
Like when you're in the observer mode of it.
Right.
Right? And so take yourself out of the cold bath and just, go to work.
You're right.
Get on the 405.
Yeah, exactly.
And recognize when your body does that.
Right.
And be like, oh, I'm in fight or flight. I'm doing that thing I do. You know, when I'm stressed out.
Yeah, and now you can take that couple seconds to get out of that.
Yeah, or and say maybe you need to stay in that mode the whole time you're driving. And that typically is the case because we need to be assertive. Right? But we can be assertive and relaxed, right? And not be in a rush. And notice it in our body where we're like, and this is when, like, if I'm feeling stressed while I'm driving, I take a nice deep breath and sigh it out because that sigh lets my body know that I'm safe and it can relax. So it's like a, right? Do it with me. Right?
Yeah.
You feel that?
I noticed that over the holiday when we were driving. My wife was getting super pissed, honking at people. What the hell is wrong? And I'm just sitting, thinking this is hilarious. But then when I'm driving back up, I was going behind the same types of people, and I would like one slammed on his brake, and I slammed, and usually like you mother, and I just slammed on my brake, and like the kids looked at me, my wife kind of glanced at me, and I just kind of took a small breath, and just waiting, and then they're like, you're not mad. And I'm like, you don't know what they're going through. Who knows? Maybe they're just super stressed out. In my head, I was like, oh, fuck. But I took that second. And so I'm noticing that too.
Yay!
Yeah, that's a huge change, actually.
I'm so proud of you.
Huge change, yes.
Wow.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. Now the next time I do a cold bath, I'm going to focus on this is what happens when I get into these weird situations.
When you get
it's the
triggered.
exact same thing, yeah.
And that the nervous system is like a natural innate ability, right? Like our body is supposed to switch over to fight or flight when we need to protect ourselves.
Right.
Back in the day, the cavemen had to protect themselves against saber-toothed tigers. Right? And they would do the same thing then too. Right. But today, what are our stressors? What triggers us? Road rage or work environment or relationships, right? Just a confrontation with your spouse. Yeah. It's like, whoa, right? And so if we can just recognize like, oh, I'm being defensive right now, right? Do I need to be defensive right now?
Yeah.
What about what my partner just said triggered me to be so, like, to get upset? And you recognize, like, oh, I'm tense, and you're like, defending yourself, and, like, you're kind of in their face, and you're putting up your walls because you want to feel heard, you want to be right. That's, like, our ego and our pride of, like, well, this is my belief, like, this is what's true for me, right? And we assume that it's true for everyone else too.
Right.
But when someone else says something contradictory from our belief, then it's going to trigger us and we're going to get defensive.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I take that as, going back to business, I take that as, if you're going to sell only what you like, you're not going to be very successful.
Huh.
You have to sell what you think everyone else is going to like. So that's why you have to look at everyone else's perspective, as hard as it might be. Okay, this guy likes, like if it's a bar, this guy likes hard alcohol. I hate hard alcohol. I'm not going to sell it. Well, you're not going to be very successful.
Yeah.
So again, going back to your attitudes, it's like, your version is only your version. It's not everyone else's, because they're seeing something different or hearing something different or experiencing something different than you are. So, but again, in the heat of the moment, very hard to go through all that. But, I've noticed taking the time to, in our last session, where you can ground yourself all the way down through your spine to the roots.
Whether or not you have a grounding mat.
Exactly. Or you're outside or barefoot or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where this is helping. This is where this comes in.
Okay, nice.
This work comes in.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Let's just take a moment.
Yeah.
And rub your palms together. Connect to your chi and connect to your heart. One hand over the other, right at your heart center. Whew. And just honoring this wisdom. This is now your wisdom. Right? And it's like... And you are in a place to actually practice these things that I'm teaching you, and you're just becoming that better version of yourself, right? It's like you're having experiences, and you're not necessarily getting lost up in the story of your experiences. You're just I'm having this experience. What's the wisdom from it? And let me poop out the rest.
Yeah, love that.
Look at how the can opened at that time.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
No, how usual.
I love that. Deposit all the rest. That's
I
awesome.
planned that.
Yeah, I could tell. That was very nice. That's what I'm saying. That goes back to the magic in all things. You really start thinking about how powerful you can be if you can just master yourself.
Yeah. And isn't it a beautiful place to be?
Beautiful place. Beautiful place. That was amazing.
So, snaps to that. Okay, and then, so I wanted you to, I'm going to send you a picture of these, and then I want you to, this is going to kind of be a journal prompt for you. Whenever you journal next, okay? So when you've been journaling, have you been doing just free writing?
Like on the computer,
yeah. Yeah, just free writing.
What's going through my head.
At that time, yeah. And how is that helping you?
It helps out a lot, actually. I need to get more focused because, I'll just kind of whatever's in my head.
That's fine.
I want to do more of this.
I see.
Now.
Okay.
But, it's just been kind of whatever's been there.
But that helps.
It does help, yes. It helps me, decompress, get it all out there.
Totally, because it's not stuck in your mind.
Right.
You're not carrying it in. It's like you're carrying a backpack.
Yeah.
And you get home from work and you're like, no, don't put your backpack down.
It's funny because I actually have a backpack for work. And I legitimately let it go when I get to the house.
Right? So now you can be aware, okay, putting this down, but I'm also going to write it out. So sometimes, you can share it with someone. Right? Just how you would when you write it out on the computer. Mm-hmm. Right? And so it's write out what you write out on the computer. But then in between the times that you have to journal on the computer and you write yourself an email and send it to yourself and you have a little journals folder.
Yep.
Nice. So, I actually just want to say that serves you more than writing it down in the past, right? Because I remember when we first met, you're like, yeah, I've journaled before, but it was unpleasant.
It was very unpleasant.
You got bored?
Very bored.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Do I really have to write it? I could talk it into my phone and put it on a Word document.
Oh, wow.
That's how it was. Yeah.
It was like a chore.
Yeah, it was a chore. And so I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not going to do it.
So you stopped doing it?
I stopped doing it.
Okay, but then when you met me, I said, try writing yourself a letter in an email. And
instead of questioning it and saying, this is stupid, I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to try it.
Cool.
And so we start doing it. Now, do I do it every day? No, I try to, but no. Yeah. But, when I do, at least they're there, and it's right in front of me. But doing this today, just kind of getting lost for those 3 minutes. It was nice.
Awesome.
So
you actually weren't getting lost. You were getting found.
There you go.
You like that?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like that.
You're finding yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's like there's your purpose. There's the direction where you're paddling to. Right? And you can use it for anything and all things. And then going back to, can you see it differently now to where you can surrender this, that something even better might happen?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Fun.
As I was writing it, in fact, I started
being like,
realizing,
we can't even comprehend the even better right now.
Right.
Right? That possibility, you're just like, what? There's an even better?
Yeah. Yeah, and realizing it as you were writing it, I mean, it was almost, you, as I said, you start feeling that, like, wow.
Yeah, love that.
Like
Perfect.
you feel it coming off of you.
Okay, so, and my point about that is that in between, like, because you say you don't do it every day, and that's fine, right? You don't need to do it every day. Mm-hmm. But maybe you have someone that you share it with, instead of, like, in the moment of, like, maybe stress or something, if there's someone, a confidant next to you or someone you can call, like, you can call me. I would love to hear your, like, what you're recognizing, oh, there's an obstacle. What's my lesson in this? What's the wisdom? And then what am I letting go of? What am I throwing in the trash? Open can.
How did you just do that?
Magic in all things.
What the hell?
I'm a witch.
Well, yeah, I believe it now.
Oh no, Logan's got to poop. Ah, come on, Logan. Come on, buddy. Okay, you got it. Oh no, one came out already. Logan, out. This way.
My dog does the same thing. Yeah, my puppy's the exact same. He's older. He's 16.
Oh, 16?
Yeah, he's a very old pup. In fact, it scared us the other night. He's having little seizures, and it scares us.
Oh,
it scares
wow.
the hell out of me, actually.
I do energy healing on animals if you want me to look into him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So, that's all. What's your dog's name?
Buttons.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a little, he's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cool dog.
Yeah, so, what I like to do with sessions like that are, don't tell me anything about him, don't tell me anything more, and just send me a picture, and I'm going to just check in with him, kind of like, so I'm going to become the observer, I'm going to tap into, my observer mode, and get out of my own way of my highest self, and just do a session on him, like kind of being his interpreter and noticing what I notice about him without you telling me anything, right? And then it's like, because really what I'm doing is tuning into him to see if I'm his practitioner, right? He might, like, need someone else. So I'm just kind of doing a little
well, that's good. So just send a picture?
Yeah, just send me a picture of him and his name.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Oh my God! You know what's so funny about that? We were just
talking about. I just thought of that. We were just talking about putting deposit or getting rid of it, pooping it out.
And Logan's like, "Here you go."
And he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that."
I planned that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Very nice.
So,
Very nice.
I'll send you a picture of these. It
Okay.
says, "What makes you feel most competent?" And what's one thing about your life you'd never change for your partner, your spouse, or anyone else? Okay, so I'll send you those.
Okay.
And, let me turn this off. Thank you so much for letting me record that.
Yeah, no problem. That was amazing. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Like our mirror work the last session. Where We're always just, like, laughing, right? Because
Yeah.
it's, like, when you bring yourself to this place of, like, observer mode and, like, not getting stuck in the story of things, you're just like, life is fucking fun.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, shouts out to making life fun.
That was cool.
We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed recording it. I encourage you to journal and free write any thoughts you have. And if creating a bhavana sounds charming to you, you can send me a direct message on Instagram at selfhealwithliz. SELFHEALWITHLIZ. Or re-listen to this episode as many times as you need to access the infinite potential of possibilities in your own life. From my big open heart to yours, namaste and satnam.